All right, coaches, so we've established with our first video I think you watched with the 3-on-0, the offensive movement, the offensive pattern, and the cutting that we'd like to try to implement in your motion offense. Now what we have, instead of 3-on-0s, now we have 3 green defenders that are going to guard now the 3 offensive players. What we're going to do in this segment is, this is going to turn out to be almost like a shell drill. And you'll see shell drill later on in 4-on-4 with some of the videos that we've done. But just again, as part of what you can do in your practice with 3-on-3, we're going to give you just some very, very basic things you can teach your defenders to do in terms of on-ball defense, off-ball defense, where to go, where to be. And again, with 3-on-3, you can really break it down so that you can teach and be really on top of your players to get them to do things fundamentally correctly, footwork-wise, with their hands, not allowing them to reach, not allowing them to steal the ball, all those kind of things. We're going to have the offense be stationary, which again is what you want to do when you're teaching your players from the beginning of practice, or from when practice really starts, is we want to do this correctly from the beginning. And the only way you can do that is establish good habits and be able to coach them and be able to tell them what to do to be able to do that. So we're going to be on the wing. James, you're on the wing over there. Right? Now, the defenders in green, we obviously have an on-ball defender. Okay? This one right over there. Right? So obviously, everybody knows what on-the-ball defense is. You're pressuring the ball, very simple. Now, it gets a little tricky here on the wing. Right? So we have a wing defender here. You want to try to get your players to always see the player they're guarding and the basketball as much as possible. And we teach them to look peripherally down the court and use their peripheral vision so they can see both ball and their player, again, with no movement, because it's going to get a lot more difficult when movement starts. But just to get them the concept and to be able to do that with their positioning. Again, they're not, you see where Justin is here, he's not standing beside his player that he's guarding with his hand out like this. We want to be in a position where we can help on the ball. If it gets dribbled to the basket, we can show help. And the other thing is we don't get beaten by our offensive player just by him stepping right across us. If we're too close, they'll score too easily on us if we're too close and out of position. So we're about a step away. We got our hand out right here in the passing lane to discourage a direct pass. Same thing over here. Bend down, arm out, in the passing lane, fine. Now, please allow the pass to go to either wing. Then you can throw either way, whichever way you want. All right? Freeze right there, good. All right? The offense makes a pass. Offense, again, isn't going to move. So now Justin, here in green, becomes now an on-ball defender, obviously. So he's going to guard the basketball. All right? This player now becomes an off-ball defender. So we're going to move him a little bit this way. Turn your body a little bit. Get your hand out in the passing lane to discourage passes. Thumb down, very good. All right? Now, as coaches, you really have to show what it means to be what we call 2 direct passes away, or when your player is on the far weak side of the floor. Right? Ball side over there, non-ball side or weak side over here. This player is going to come all the way into the middle of the floor. Good, right there. Now, then do it here. Just step off the side for a second. All right? So, remember, we still have an offensive player out there in the front. But just for purposes of being able to see this visually, the defender here, who's guarding Warner over there on the wing, is right in the middle of the floor, splitting the center line, 1 foot on one side, 1 foot on the other, as if their head, if they're standing right underneath the rim, is geographically where you want to be. All right? So we're a little bit forward now because the ball's on kind of a high side of the floor here. All right? So about right there where you can see both ball and player. All right? If you stare straight ahead, you can do that. All right? And that's really the key to teaching off-ball defense, is having these players understand, gee, I'm really far away from my player. Why am I so far away? Well, the main reason is, Jamie, go ahead in slow motion, dribble to the basket. If Justin can't guard him, now you're in a perfect position to come over and help out on the ball, which is the most important thing on the floor. And we have to stop the ball from being penetrated to the basket immediately. We can't do that. Jamie's back out there. Justin, you go ahead and guard him. We can't do that if we are too close to our player. Jamie, go to the basket. Justin, let him go. Way too far away to offer any help to our teammate. Okay? Jamie will back. Okay. So here we are. We're in a good position. All right. So Ben, take your position back. Good. All right. Now, Jamie, make the pass up to Ben. Go ahead. Now, good. I'm going to go right out there to where you were. Nothing changes, just like we started. Justin's in a good position there in green. Ben now pass the ball this way. Good. Adeline Green becomes on the ball defender. All we've done here in the middle is just shift your position over here. There you go. Okay. Hand out right there. Good. Perfect. Justin comes all the way now to the center. Ben, just step aside for a second. All right? So Justin's here. He can see both ball and his player. All we've done is we've just done a mirror image. The ball has switched sides, and the defenders have just changed responsibilities. Everything has been exactly the same. All right? Ben, come back in the middle. Now, offense, do this. Moira pass to Ben. Go up where Justin. Ben pass to Jamie. And we get it. There you go. Stop. Good. Pass up top. Go out. Good. Pass over there. Justin right. Stop. Now, hopefully you can see that these wing defenders are working very hard. They're covering a lot of ground here and getting places very quickly. That's what you have to do when you're coaching, is to get players, once they understand what's going on, is to move places fast. Now, one of the concepts we're going to teach is, just let me take your place for 1 second, is, Ben, go ahead and be up there again. If I'm an off-ball defender right here, Moira, go ahead and pass to the top. One thing I want to do to get to where I should be defensively is to not slide out. You don't have to teach people to slide. That takes too long. If you're right here, you have to bust it to get out there fast. Once that pass is made from Moira to Ben to the top, you run out here as quick as you can, get low, and get in position that way. All right? Now the pass is made. Go ahead. Now I'm an on-ball defender. Shift. Exactly right. You get places fast. You get places by running, moving quickly. The more you can instill that in your players, the easier it is to teach. And once we get this offense moving, it'll be much easier. You'll be able to beat people to spots and really put yourself in a good defensive position all the time if that's been drilled into your players from the very beginning.